Okay, guys. So let's start because we have 2 p.m. This time we start at 2 p.m. Welcome all of you to our last webinar from our Go Global project. I want to introduce the welcome chart. We know that we are well heard and well seen by you, so that's great. So as I mentioned, this is our last webinar from this project. It is CO financed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Poland in a task that is called Public Diplomacy 2012-20, a new dimension. And today we are going to have the special formula of our meeting because this is going to be an interview with Jakub, who is a CTO in AlphaNet, and AlphaNet is one of a member company of our cluster ITCorner. So we are going to have a talk with Jakub about Industry 4.0. And we are going to talk a little bit about what Industry 4.0 is and what it is not. We are going to talk a little bit about what AlphaNet is doing and what Jakub is responsible for in the company. And we are going to talk also a little bit about how to cooperate from Wrocław with Germany, especially with industry, with production companies as a IT company based in Wrocław. So how does it work? How does it work, especially now in the COVID time? Also, I want to mention that I think we are going to have it 40 minutes long for our interview, for our talk, and then later on I will ask you guys to ask questions. You can ask them as questions in the question section, or you can click into a Q&A section, and then you can also ask questions. So when we finish, we will try to answer the most interesting one, and then later on, we will see. Maybe we'll have some more time to talk with you guys when we're out. One more thing, today is also a special episode because we have a partnership with Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency, known as ARAF in Wrocław, here in Poland. And why is it special? It is kind of connected to Industry 4.0, but we will talk about this later on at the end of our meeting today. So I think without further ado, let us jump into the webinar. So I will switch off our welcome chart, and then we will just be us here. So hello guys again. So yeah, tell me, what is Industry 4.0 in your opinion? Because we know this is a term that is very broad. Everyone is using it now, and we talked about this yesterday. I think we both have a feeling that this is kind of another buzzword. So can you tell us a little bit more from your perspective what Industry 4.0 is?
Sure. Hello, everybody. This term, Industry 4.0, appeared for the first time, as far as I recall, in the high-tech strategy of German government. And it was announced at Hanover Fair in 2011. This was supposed to be a kind of guideline, a way for both IT and industry to set some strategy for cooperation. This indeed, as you said, is a very broad term, and I would try to not oversimplify it and explain a little bit some areas which it covers. What do we have there? Advanced robotics. In this area, we can talk about autonomous cooperating industrial robots. We have additive manufacturing, which involves 3D printing for prototyping, and customization of products. We have an area of augmented reality, which is displaying of supporting information for maintenance and logistics. Here you, for example, can imagine a maintenance worker who has a task of fixing some machine, and he wears such goggles, and when going to this machine, looking at it, he gets some hints, some points, what he should do in what order, and how he can approach his task. We also have an area of simulation and digital twins, where we are creating factory models for testing and optimization on real-time data. If we have such factory reflected well enough in a model, we can test optimizations on this model before trying to implement them on the plant. We can get sure that they are working correctly as we want. We have also a broad area of industrial IoT and machine-to-machine communication, smart sensors. This all creates a network of machines and sensors, allowing machines to communicate with each other and with supporting systems. We have also cloud computing, big data, and analytics. Here it allows to harness the computing power of the cloud to store and analyze big volumes of data without building some huge data centers inside the factory. It also gives a great scalability because you might not have the need to analyze this data all the time, and then you can use this power and pay for it only when you need it, and not all the time because you have built already such a big data center. We have a wide range of mobile devices which now are an efficient human-to-factory interface. And last but not least, we have artificial intelligence for analyzing data and making autonomous decisions in real time.
Okay, so this is a lot, and even for me, I'm not maybe a technical person, but I'm quite used to IT industry, so for me it's a lot. I cannot imagine what this means to someone who is like not connected to IT, to ICT industry, and for instance is working or is managing the director in the factory. So this is overwhelming, let's say.
Yeah, so what is worse, when this term appeared, lots of IT companies started to describe their solution everywhere you had Industry 4.0. And from one hand, it's okay. If you are a manufacturer of a smart sensor, you are in fact doing something for Industry 4.0. But now I think when somebody from a factory thinks about implementing Industry 4.0 solutions and starts to Google for them, gets thousands of hits which are not totally related to his problem. So this term, in my opinion, is now a little bit overused term, and sometimes it's better for IT companies to describe their solutions better than to put them all into the bucket of Industry 4.0.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so maybe we can talk a little bit more about certain specific solutions, not about the whole industry, but we will get back to this phrase buzzword. So as I know because we talked yesterday and a few times before, as I know from your company history, AlphaNet, you are like not new in this business. So can you tell me more about your history and about your services, and what do you do as AlphaNet? What are your projects?
Yeah, it's right that we are not new in this. We've been involved in development of machine condition monitoring systems since 2002. We work with Siemens AG on CMSX tools, and I recall already around 2006 we've had implementations of this X tools in the newspaper printing industry. A company who delivers machines for newspaper printing. By the way, they also deliver machines for money printing. Has equipped these machines with X tools, and it allows them for remote monitoring and failure detection of the network of such printing facilities. They've built a single headquarters where there were 4 big screen monitors placed next to each other and presenting live data from a network of such factories. So it was, as I said, 2006, and it already sounds a little bit like Industry 4.0. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So maybe this because of the background which we have. I look at this Industry 4.0 a little bit more like a next stage of factory evolution, and maybe less as a revolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can see it because the same thing happens with many terms from our industry. So, for instance, we have VR or like very famous blockchain and all those terms, and people that are not acquainted with these whole IT slogans and language, they are like thinking that there are revolutionary technologies that like came out of the blue. But as you are referring this, for instance, is Industry 4.0, 0.0 is not something new. It's like evolution of some kind of solutions and industry that came to this one word. So maybe let's jump into more details on what exactly this means. What do you do on everyday, day-to-day basis, on your day-to-day work for your clients as Alphanet? So what solutions do you provide? What problems do you fix?
We've started to work with industry, and we still are mostly focused on software for industry, and mainly it was condition monitoring, collection and analyzing of data to detect failures, mostly based on vibration analysis. But we've also realized projects from the traceability area, where we involved RFID technologies, radio frequency identifiers, and even in this traceability area, we recently became a partner with Zebra company, and now we are enhancing our software to support newest hardware from Zebra.
Mm-hmm. So I'm laughing because the name is for someone outside the industry 4.0 or for this kind of solutions is something new. So can you explain more about what they do?
Because it might be even known for some factories, because Zebra is known for example, barcode printers. This was earlier, but they have a broad range of mobile devices, handhelds, some rugged tablets, RFID readers, also barcode readers. So this is a broad range of devices which we can use in such traceability products.
And you support all of them?
Not all of them yet, yeah, but we are trying to enhance the support as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
when we are talking about this Industry 4.0 projects, it's also worth mentioning SP-Edit. This is a project which is a configuration, control, and monitoring system, which allows to program custom microcontroller-based automation systems. Shell GmbH company, who is a machine manufacturing company, uses this software and hardware solution to control their creations. I say creations because they invent and produce machines which take over such tasks like, for example, assembly of electronic components. Our latest achievement in this project was creation of a smart microcontroller, which, when mounted on the machine, is not only executing this controlling sequence, but also monitoring and reporting all errors states via network.
Mm-hmm. So as I can see here, there is a lot of about data collection, analyzing, and especially error reporting. So what else? What do you do else? Maybe you can brief us into another project.
Sure. We also have done something in this area of traceability, which I've mentioned. We've created a luggage monitoring system for airports using RFID tags which are attached to luggage, and then network.
What is
RFID? This is radio frequency identifiers. This is a tag which you can attach to something. You can know it from shops. If you go out of the shop without paying, it's also RFID.
I don't do it.
Maybe this is why you don't know it. But in general, in our project, this was used for luggage tracking on the airport with a network of RFID readers. And the airport staff was notified when some piece of luggage was lost, misplaced, or did not find its way to proper plane. These RFID readers, which we use there, we've programmed them as such smart standalone devices, which are capable of dealing with failure of the central microservices server. This way, if the central server link to the central server goes down, such an RFID reader still works without problems, and as soon as the link is back up, it sends its data.
So it basically collecting all the data without being connected to whole system.
Yes. It's working autonomously. Then, yeah? But our biggest adventure with Industry 4.0 is this CMS X tools, which I have mentioned, and taking part in the evolution of Siemens Cloud solution for industry, which is called MindSphere, which now also includes a younger brother of the CMS X tools Professional, a service called Mind Connect Edge Analytics. This X tools and this cloud-based solution is a condition monitoring system which is capable of detecting various machine failures, mainly using vibration analysis.
So basically, if I can imagine this previous solution for airports, IoT for air, yeah, I can imagine, because this is easy. And where you can use the CMS X tool? In which areas of industry?
Maybe I will share where it already is operating. For example, in automotive, it is used for monitoring car door presses for failures. In harbors, it is, for example, used for monitoring these big cranes which are lifting and moving containers. It's also used in airports for monitoring such luggage cars, which behind the scenes transport luggage. There, it's even a connection between the monitoring system, which is using vibrations to detect failures, and some traceability, where these cards which cause the failures are recognized automatically based on their IDs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like this.
So, because one of the reasons that we are today here is that we are going, the project that we are hearing in the webinar is about cooperation with Germany and Finland, but today's episode theme is Germany. And this is, you know, when I talk with IT companies in Wrocław and not only, this is always pointed out that this is a very difficult market. First of all, they are one of the biggest economics now in the world. Second of all, they are famous for their industry, especially production companies, and there are many other issues that you can have if you are a Polish company and going into a German market. So I want to talk with you more about challenges, how all this started, how it happened that your portfolio is mainly consisted of clients from Germany.
It started in this 2002, which I have mentioned, and it started as it often starts with some personal connections and recommendations. Our CEO, Andrzej Sobański, say hi, Andrew.
Say hi.
Got the chance to build up a team of developers who were supposed to help on a starting project, X-Tools, which was created by Siemens AG. And this team of developers, together with CEO, we all went for a few months to Germany to work together with the team which was already built up on their side. It was a few months of hard work, but we've managed over the time to build up a position which allowed us not only to return to Poland to work remotely, but also to take most of the software development tasks of this project onto our shoulders. I have to say that at first it wasn't easy. We've had lots of procedures to learn. We've had to prove the quality of our software by passing very strict code reviews. We also had to prove the quality of our management with certificates like ISO or CMMI. At that time, I even found it a little bit annoying that we had to do all this. But now I can say that these lessons learned then pay off till today. When I look at several other projects which we realized for German customers, I can see that quality always is a very important value there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you want a sip of water, maybe?
Yeah.
It's very sometimes helps. So I think what you said now, in all, especially in terms of ICO, ISO, and other certifications. So I think it could be very challenging, especially for a company which is new. As you mentioned, it was quite a long time ago, but then you were new
for the beginnings.
This was the beginning. So what about language? Was it an obstacle? Was it difficult to cooperate with Germany? What about this part?
I have to say that it wasn't that bad, but it for sure was a new experience to work full time in foreign language. I know that for Polish IT companies, sometimes this lack of German language knowledge is some barrier which stops them from even trying to work with German companies. And I know from our experience that this can be an issue, true. But currently, and I think it changes all the time into this direction, when teams are often international, the majority of communication and documentation is in English by choice. It's also easier this way for both sides, because when we are communicating in a language which is not our native language, we have the tendency to speak simpler words, to use easier phrases. And this simplicity, in my opinion, is often very good key, is often the key to good mutual understanding.
Okay, thank you for this insight. This may be interesting for our viewers, but you also mentioned about taking trip to Germany to get to know the people on the other side, to get to know better. And what is it a kind of a key to the success, in your opinion, to know your clients, to meet them in person?
Yeah, in my opinion, this building of good relationships is very important. This mutual understanding and trust is often a key to keeping cooperation going for years. With Siemens, we are working since 2002, and over the time we've had our ups and downs. We've had the project moved to different departments, different cities. We've survived changes of management there with these movements, and for sure, our experience in this project helped. But I think these good relations and with the team, with the management there, allowed us to stay in the project and keep contributing to its success. So, in fact, we value these personal relations with the team in Germany, in Austria, very much, and we enjoy every opportunity to meet with them.
Okay, so we are here now in 2020, almost on the beginning of 2021, and we are facing the situation with coronavirus. So once we can go, once we cannot. This is depending on day-to-day epidemic situation. So how does it change your business, and especially that you going back to your solutions, when you imagine working with a production company, you can see a factory, yeah, and you can see people who are doing some stuff on the ground. So how do you deal with the situation that you cannot go to a factory and to showcase your solutions and to meet with your expectations on the ground? How do you do it now?
Yeah, over the years we've observed a really big change in this area, but with big companies it usually was not a big issue, because we are cooperating with R&D departments. We are able to work online. We can connect on site to some factory, wherever it is placed, to diagnose issues. Our solutions are often from the very beginning installed in virtual machines. So even our customers from the beginning connect to these places remotely. And this connectivity made by encrypted VPN connections, we can do it reliably and securely. As we are in fact implementing such remote access for the customers, we have a lot of possibilities to do such work. It's a little bit harder with smaller companies, yeah, because there this infrastructure is often not that mature, and we used to spend a lot of time on site. But even current times showed that a lot is possible without these visits, and there where it is really not possible for things which are not doable remotely, any manual tasks next to machines, we managed to build up such a process that we are usually finding some skilled person on the customer side, and by training this person a little bit, getting some connection with this person, we can outsource some of our.
Because you are training this person online, yes?
Yes, of course. Now it's not possible the other way, but earlier it was awesome. But you can guide really well online. So even for our projects, our own projects here on our field, on Polish fields, I recall that we had installations, whole implementations made for customers with whom we've never met. We've managed to do whole installation. Of course, there was a simple installation of the hardware there, a lot more with the software, but we configured all from servers to mobile phones remotely. So it's possible, and I think earlier many things seemed not to be so doable, but these times, hard times, forced us to focus on solutions, and a lot of things became possible.
So I'm checking the time. We still have some few half an hour. I'm keeping in mind that we also have space for you guys to ask questions. I will check if we have any. One. So hi everyone, good to see you guys. Good to see you, Nikolai. So let's talk a little bit about the future, because we actually don't know what will happen in next year. We know that the vaccine is in place in UK, but we don't know how fast it will be implemented in Germany, in Poland,
how well it will
work. So to be honest with you, what is ahead of us is, I think, kind of another half year of this hybrid situation that we are going to go. Sometimes we're going to be doing business online. So what do you think about the trends? What do you think about the future, especially in terms of Industry 4.0? We know that this is a very broad term, but especially in your company, and especially with collaboration with your customers from Germany, because this is the whole idea of today's meeting, to talk about this long distance collaborations.
Yeah, the thing which we miss the most are these face-to-face meetings with our customers and co-workers. It's for sure not easy now to do any hardware-related implementations without visiting on site. But there are these positive changes. We've learned to work more efficiently online. We've learned to resolve issues remotely. Also, industry has learned that there is a possibility, and that the solutions are now available to do a lot of tasks remotely, and this gives me some optimism. Also, when I look at this, at young people who are coming to production to work, they already have the technology in their blood, in their DNA, so to say. Yeah? They use it daily, and it's much easier to discuss some solutions with them. They understand them really fast. Also, this whole progress, this what I see as an evolution. This technology becomes more and more mature. We are getting better hardware to implement our solutions on it. We are getting machines already packed with sensors. This all gives me a little bit of hope that even though times are so hard. It will go and it will grow this digital transformation. I also think that this Industry 4.0 understanding will grow because the companies will progress with this digital transformation. Factories will progress with this digital transformation, and when looking at their success stories, when reading about these solutions, others will also want to join. In my opinion, this will lead to this that each factory will either have its own IT department dealing with these technological things, or will cooperate closely with some IT company, because it's our first manager in the CMS Extus project used to say that first we need to collect this data and afterwards we will analyze it and we will see what it tells us. Yeah? And this is in fact the only way to go. Nobody will tell upfront what this data can tell, what can come up when we collect them and analyze them. In fact, after we do this, the relations which we find might surprise us. When we connect this all to traceability and we think about tracing each end product, and we have a failure of such end product, we can, having all this data, we can track the history, and we can find relations between this failing product and some parameters of production, some environmental parameters. Hard to say at that moment what will this be, but this will allow us to directly pinpoint the reasons of this failure and to eliminate it in order to optimize the production.
So, because also I told you the story yesterday or a few days ago. First of all, I see the whole, whole area of opportunities for IT companies from Poland, from Wrocław, because as you said, something is changing. New people are coming to the hard industry. They are having this technical literacy. They know technology. They are operating with tools, with virtual tools,
and they want these solutions.
And they need those solutions. This is a very interesting point, because I told you that 1 year ago I was attending when we could conference about AI as connected. It's not. As you said, it is a part. It could be. It cannot. It doesn't have to be a part of Industry 4.0. And I had a chance to listen to a guy from pharmacy company, and he said that they are collecting all the data they can, even though that they don't know at this time of collection, they don't know what they are going to do with the data. And he said also that it doesn't matter if it's a sales or like marketing or something, because he is projecting that in the future they will find new patterns of analyzing them, and maybe they will come up with solutions that, thanks to those data collected, will give them advantages in the market. So I can imagine, if you imagine a factory aligned, a lot of systems operating, a lot of people moving, a lot of machines working, you have such amount of data that you can collect, that really it's very hard to imagine what you can do in the future with this kind of information. So yeah.
And this AI which you mentioned is also here helper point which will do this analysis for us. It can detect, it can detect patterns which we will not think about, and this is something. So at the end, I would in fact like to encourage industry to work together with IT, work together with us to take these steps of this digital transformation, and I hope that the results of this work really will turn out to be some fourth industrial revolution.
So yeah, so I think I see the space for education also. So to reaching like taking the knowledge from IT companies side to industry side to show them what are the possibilities for them to grow, to evolve, not revolutionary, evolutionary, and so on and so on. So I think also for us as clusters, as organizations that are mainly like working in the area of education, not mainly, are educating also.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very important task to give you the space and floor to talk about Industry 4.0 in a way that maybe your client, your potential client doesn't know it works. So yeah, I think that's for now. That's all with our questions. So guys, going back to you, if you have any questions, feel free now to jump in if you are there. And
not sleeping,
and ask them, because we are here for you. So questions. This is very hard for us because we can see you only as people like in a line in a row of guests, but we don't see your faces, and we cannot see if someone is typing anything or not. Don't let us down. Maybe they are going to now find out new ideas for business in the industry 4.0. So maybe someone's okay. So here we are also empty. Okay, so yeah, we are waiting for your questions to our experts, of course, not to me. And I will use this opportunity to say a few words about our partners today from City of Wrocław, about Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency. So many of you maybe know. I think few of us were taking part in this project. So we are a partner of this big research conducted by ARAF in Wrocław, and the key question was about Industry 4.0 in the before, in the middle, and afterwards the pandemic. So the title of new report that is going to be have its premiere tomorrow is. I will read it from my notes. Perspective on investing in Industry 4.0 in Wrocław before, during, and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So you will get a chance to download this report tomorrow from Invest in Wrocław website. I hope you will find it very interesting, also because this is going to be presented in English, so you can also use it for your like talks with people from outside of Poland. And yeah, I encourage you to keep your hand on a pulse of tomorrow's Investing in Wrocław Facebook profile and LinkedIn profile, because tomorrow the report will have its premiere. So, do we have any questions? Or you are?
Seems not.
Seems not. We like you said everything about. Oh yeah, there is one. Oh, even two. Okay, so I will try. Hi, Arthur. Hi, can you share any other ways for bringing new customers besides your private contacts, business relations, your successful use of the market? Yeah, this is very often, this question very often comes up because we are aware that saying that it all started with someone who knew someone there.
It's there is no simple answer here. I've also heard that it's good to get in touch with somebody on the German side who will at least give you some first introduction to your customers. We besides such connections which we already managed to make, we also use LinkedIn for telling about our solutions. There with this approach, you can sometimes find the right people. So you can try to describe your solutions on LinkedIn to your potential customers, and of course you have to select them smart so that it does not go into somebody who is totally not interested. But in general, this also works. We've got a few really nice contacts when we described our solution shortly, not some long words, but shortly. And if somebody is interested, he will ask for some more details.
Is it in English or in German?
In English, yes, we did it in English.
So we have another one from Michael. Mika, in which tech fields do you think the smaller companies has chance to create new business in the field of Industry 4.0?
But you are asking from the perspective of smaller factory or smaller smaller IT?
I think IT companies, yes.
Hard one, yeah. It's hard to say. This there is, as you can see, this is such a broad term, but you can be doing some small things which will turn out to be very usable, and it's both. You can do hardware or you can do software in this, as I said, this augmented reality solutions, for example. In fact, if my personal opinion is that there is a lot of future for AI. But I don't know. This of course, you would have to have some skilled people in this smaller company with some knowledge in this area. But machine learning and AI, no, somebody wrote even, or you wrote, yeah, maybe Edge and AI, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but
this is for me really a connection which can give a lot of and this Edge and AI is one place because this is close to machine. There, of course, the hardware is getting better and better, and you can do much more. So some pre-processing there and some AI can work there. But also this AI which will work on huge amounts of data in the cloud. This is also I think a nice topic.
Yeah, but if you mentioned this, I will get to other questions in just a few seconds. But if you mentioned about small companies, let's say 10 people.
This is our company.
This is your company. So is it very hard to have AI specialist, someone who is very literate in this technology, and is in Wrocław especially, is it hard to hire someone like this? But your perspective. I'm not talking about any.
Somebody who is really already skilled in this. Yeah, probably it's hard. We did not try, in fact, in this area to hire somebody, but and there are people who are passionate about this AI from very beginning. When they are starting, they are into it, and have to catch somebody earlier. I think we have some companies in ITCorner who are doing AI, and I think, as I know, these people grew from AI. They started with AI, and they made some PhDs in this area, and then they made the company. Okay. But it's also possible to get into cooperation with such company. Yeah.
Okay. So we have another question. Because I'm now translating live, so what do you say to a company which is going to plan to go to the German market? Where to start? I think it's kind of different from the previous one, because it's not about how to get the customer to clients, but how to prepare your company to go there. So it was a long time ago, but from your perspective now, maybe you have any.
I do not have too much knowledge from the area of the production company, but for this I would say for sure that you have to do a good research regarding the all the certificates and all this things which your products would have to fulfill. There, from this what I saw, it's more strict than our market. On the other hand, we are all now in European Union, so it's when you fulfill the rules of EU, you should be able to go there.
Yeah, this is very interesting, because you mentioned when we talked yesterday that all those certification process, which may be interesting for Grzegorz, who asked this question. You said that at first it was very important, and you put a lot of effort, a lot of work to have all those certificates. I think, did you get the knowledge from the client, or you had to research the market to know which certificate you need?
No, this was something which the client wanted, and this was like a requirement. We had to.
So they are the best guys. If you have later on, we'll show email address and also LinkedIn profile of Kuba and of Jakub. So if you have any question about which certificates are the most important at the beginning, how to get them, is it time consuming, is it expensive, you can ask Kuba. Jakub, but you said also that later on, when you go into more and more into the cooperation with those clients, that it gets less and less needed. Yes, in terms of, I think, well, can you explain it how it works?
Because it was in the beginning. This is the thing which I think everybody here also is asking about, because it's something where you struggle how to prove this other side that you are a partner worth working with, and how to prove that your quality is okay. And all these certificates are kind of such a proof. Yeah, you get this approval from some organization. They check you, and this is for somebody kind of proof that you do it right. Later on, when you are cooperating with somebody for years, it stops to be so important, because they know you and they know your quality, and they don't need the proof in form of certificates, because they have the proof in form of your work.
Okay, that makes sense. Another one. Any industrial organization you can suggest that are worth to join? I guess it's in Germany or in Poland, because if Artur is still with us, maybe he can specify.
But anyway, I think I will not be able to answer this question. We are in fact not members in some industrial organizations, so I cannot recommend any, because I do not know.
Okay, so me neither. I'm not a member, so sorry. We can always say you can join our organization, because
This is less industrial.
Less industrial, but we are creating those links between Poland and Germany. In Germany, we have ST Baba, which is our partner. It's cluster from Berlin, which is also a kind of partner of this project, alongside with Turku Science Park from Turku, Finland. So yeah, we are trying to connect people from different countries, exchange knowledge, which is much more easier now when we have more chances to talk online, so we don't have to go to Finland, but we want very much. We want to go to Germany, and as soon we will be able to, I think we'll for sure we will go.
One thing which I remembered regarding this, besides LinkedIn, is what we used, but here I cannot say that I would recommend it because we did not have any success until now with this. But we've also used a company who is like a middle bridge between us and the customer on the German side. What they did nice, they prepared some flyers for us, which of course we first needed to describe all of this what we offer in an understandable way, and based on this they prepared flyers in German, and this we can use as a marketing goal. They also found some contacts for us. But from now until now, this did not give us any success yet. We did not get any leads which would return some customer.
This is a well-known case that many companies from ITCorner they did try some middle bridge help from people who are basically working there or are on the ground in Germany or in Switzerland or in Austria, and it turns out differently. Sometimes it's a success, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's that's our money waste because there is no outcome. But I think one thing you mentioned is very important. This kind of, if you are at the beginning, this kind of action that help you to focus on your offer, so you can really specify what is the thing you are doing, what do you want to offer to your clients, what problems do you want to fix or solve for them, and this can be also a good beginning for going abroad to think about your offer.
Yeah, it's I think good even to stay domestic to know your offer and I see something to me. Artur, you are welcome. You are welcome, and I will check my LinkedIn.
So today will be like with German precision. We'll finish at 3 p.m. Once again, I want to remind you about our report that is going to be issued tomorrow. So we'll have a lot of content there about Industry 4.0 in Wrocław. It will be in English. It is issued by Wrocław Agglomeration Development Agency. Sorry guys, but I'm using ARAF so many times that switching this into English is so hard because it's the other way around. So that's why I need to read it. So tomorrow it will be posted on Facebook and LinkedIn on Invest in Wrocław.
I'm also looking forward to.
Yeah, I will also share my screen because we need to give some details about you. So here you have details how to connect, how to reach Jakub. Thank you all. Thank you, Jakub, for your knowledge and experience. Yes, and as I said, this is the last one in this series, GoGlobal in 2020, last meeting. Next year we are planning new format. We'll see what will it be exactly, but we will get back to you and tell you more on Slack, on our LinkedIn and Facebook. I should have mine here. One more, but I don't have. And any industry organization.
This
is the
this
same.
already was.
So maybe yeah, this is the same. So yeah, that's all, guys, and thank you for being with us today. Have a nice rest of the day, and have a nice holidays that are ahead of us. And stay safe, stay healthy, and bye.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.